Hey all, Bryan Lieb here, creator of The Good Thief. I'm excited today to show you how to play the game. It's all set up and ready to go. The link to the setup walkthrough is in the description. Check that out if you haven't. First, let me tell you about the theme. The game was intentionally designed around the theme. The Good Thief is a story of rebellion, led by up to 4 competing players in a medieval city oppressed by its noble caste, where even the thieves guild that raised you has been corrupted. Each player's rebel band strives to overthrow the hated regime through mafioso control of districts and spectacular heists, bolstered by tactical allocation of your resources. Your famous exploits and giving back to the downtrodden commoners score reputation victory points in your effort to create the most respected new thieves guild and win the game, who will be sung into legend as the good thief who saved them all. Game plays in 1 to 3 hours depending on the number of players and your play group's chosen game length. You can choose the quick game, standard game, or epic game, 5, 6, or 7 rounds. So today I'm going to take this in stages. We're going to talk about the districts first, then review the objective and heist cards. I'll give you the overview of the 13 phase round, and then I will take you through an explanation of each of those phases. So first, we have the city. This is your game board. It is modular. The city will never be set up the same way. Ring 1 is the city outskirts, the less affluent areas populated by small shopkeepers and commoners. Ring 2, more commercial with bigger shops, richer merchants. Ring 3 is moving into the seat of power with the Cathedral, Bankers Guild, Count's Court, the Oubliette Prison, Tower of Guards, and then in the center, over it all, the King's Castle. On each district, you'll find information. In the center is the district name. Here you have the Builders Guild, a flavorful quotation, and a stat line at the top shows the difficulty of controlling the district, the difficulty of heisting it, and the rewards. At the very bottom, many districts have a skill training icon or label. There are 4 locations to train in each of the 7 skills. Let me take you through a stat line on a district. This is the debtor's prison. The C stands for control. The 15 is the number that you have to meet or exceed on your 3d6 control roll to take control of the district. The 4 with a circle around it, looks like a coin, is the amount of control revenue you will receive for controlling the district every round. The H stands for heist. The 16 is the number you have to meet or exceed on 3d6 to successfully overcome heist challenges. The 3 on the black card means that you have to overcome 3 heist cards to successfully complete the heist and get the reward of 11 gold. The 11 with the circle around it looks like a coin. The asterisk after the 11 reminds you to add your intel bonus to the amount of gold you take away from the heist, because good intel leads to you knowing where the best stuff is hidden, and also that your crew of thieves receives a payout of shares from the heist. Let's talk about abilities granted for controlling certain districts, which are printed on the district in the bright yellow print. Every dark blue district has such an ability printed on it. There are two districts that are fertile ground for hiring new thieves, the jailhouse and the debtor's prison. If you control such a district, you can hire a thief there during the hire phase for 1 gold instead of the usual 2 gold. If you control the stables or the Wainwright, you have access to certain conveyances, and your guild receives either a +1 or +2 bonus to its ordinary move range of 2 adjacent districts. The East Church and West Church favor underdogs, and controlling them gets you bonus victory points if you are not currently leading the game. If you control the tax collector, you can actually levy a tax of 1 gold per opponent at the end of the control revenue phase. And if you control the Tower of Guard, you can, at the very beginning of the new guard and patrols phase, you get to place a free protect gold on every district that you control, which is very handy to bribe guards to stay out of your districts. Last, we'll mention the oubliette, which contains an instruction identifying the reward if you successfully heist this maximum security prison and free the old master thief who raised you and who is imprisoned there by the regime. You get 15 bonus victory points and a +1 advancement in 2 different skills, in addition to the victory points normally gained for heisting a 3rd ring district. That is 3 victory points, and if your leader participated in the heist, those 3 points are doubled to 6. The oubliette is a late game challenge with a heist number of 25 that you have to roll. To overcome the challenges on 6 heist cards, you will have to have a lot of bonuses to consistently roll a 25 on 3d6. That covers what you need to know about the districts, and there is a page in the rulebook devoted to district-specific information. Let's move on to an overview of the objective and heist cards. Each player is dealt 4 objective cards during setup, and will draw 1 new objective card in the first phase of every round. It's a mistake to treat the objective cards as your primary objectives in the game. They represent your awareness of certain opportunities in the city that you might take advantage of if you can figure out how to fit them into your overall plans. Players that manage to convert objective cards into victory points, loot, and skill bonuses will find themselves doing well in the game. However, blindly pursuing them may not make sense. As part of the objectives phase, you can discard 1 or more of your objective cards and replace them with new ones. So it is not difficult to assemble a set of objectives that appeal to you. At the bottom of each objective card, printed in red, are the alternative uses of an objective card. The cards don't just represent awareness of opportunities, they represent resources. And at any time, you can use an objective card for a re-roll of a failing dice roll in desperation when your planning gold allocation has run out and you still haven't succeeded at your control or heist attempt. Or you can use an objective card at any time to discard in return for 2 gold. That gold goes to your funds, which can then immediately be used by you for any purpose. But you will feel a pang in that you will have lost the opportunity to gain bonuses. Heist cards represent the challenges that you face during a heist. In the first ring, you'll only be taking on 1 or 2 heist cards at relatively low difficulty. with the exception of the Thieves Guild, one of the toughest targets in the game that requires you to overcome 6 heist cards. The number of heist cards increase for the second and third rings. And if you must overcome 3 heist cards, for example, you draw them, keep them face down, and try to complete them consecutively. Flipping over 1 card, you'll be met with a challenge that will directly challenge one of your thief skills, the progression of which is tracked on your guild card. If you have a bonus in that skill, that bonus will apply to your attempt to overcome the challenge in the card. There may be more than one way to attempt to overcome a challenge. For example, guards can be sneaked past or can be bluffed. Failing that, you can either fight them or run using agility. Running away after the alarm has been raised entails taking a permanent penalty to the rest of your heist card attempts because the guards are alive and looking for you at that point. And if you complete all of your heist cards, you have succeeded in the heist, unless you were to whip out an add-on objective card which represents a special treasure in that location that you have decided to go for. You then have to draw 1 additional heist card and overcome it in an all or nothing attempt to get that special treasure along with everything else you've already gained in the heist. But if you fail that last heist card, you get nothing. We'll cover this in more detail with an example when I talk about the actions phase, in which you perform your control and or heist attempts. And we've made it to the round overview. The game is played in either 5, 6, or 7 rounds, depending on what your play group chooses. And each round is composed of 13 phases that you play through consecutively. I think of each phase as a little module unto itself. The rules are hopefully intuitive, and I believe after 1 playthrough, you will have encountered all of the mechanics of the game and will not have to constantly reference a rule book in future plays. Almost every rule of the game is referenced on your allocation screen, with the 13 phases down the middle column and the process for a heist on the right-hand column, the process for control on the left-hand column, including all bonuses and penalties that apply and how to resolve the success or failure of the attempt. The allocation screen will ultimately be enough of a guide for you to play the game by. If that's not enough, there is a 1-pager rule summary which contains all of the rules for the game on 1 page. There's also a full rule book for the board game geeks out there, which I believe will leave nothing to doubt about the rules for each phase. Phase 1 is the objectives phase. You draw your new objective card, consider your cards, and discard any unwanted objective cards to be replaced by new cards. Phase 2 is the allocations phase, in which you allocate your gold to in which you may allocate gold to 1 or more of the 5 strategies by placing your gold in the slots in your allocation tray for initiative, protect, move, planning, and reputation. You may also leave gold aside in the big funds area of your tray to use for hiring thieves, for training, for paying your thieves' salaries, or just to save for later. The allocation phase is a major part of the game. Players do this secretly behind their allocation screen in combination with a mental plan that you concoct for the round. Once every player is done, allocations are revealed and play continues. Let me take a moment to tell you about the 5 strategies, which do feature in specific phases of the round. After the allocation phase comes phase 3, initiative, in which allocations are revealed and it is determined which player has won the competitive bid for initiative. Winning initiative gives you an advantageous move and action play order. It is also possible to be successful without having the best initiative. It depends on how you manipulate the situation. Phase 4 is protect, in which gold you allocated into the protect strategy is placed on districts you control to help fortify them against your opponent's control and heist efforts, and also help to bribe any guard unit that might threaten to enter your district to go somewhere else. Phase 5 is the hire phase. You can hire 1 or more thieves into your guild at that point. Hiring a thief typically costs 2 gold per thief hired, though, as I mentioned earlier, controlling the jailhouse or the debtor's prison entitles you to hire 1 thief there for 1 gold. Thieves hired at those 2 locations appear at those locations. Thieves otherwise hired appear with your leader. Phase 6 is the summon phase, in which your leader thief can summon any or all of your thieves throughout the city to his or her location. Phase 7 is the move phase. Your guild has a move range which applies to every thief in the guild. The basic move range is 2 adjacent spaces, so a thief at the Orb Theater could move 1, 2 to the jailhouse. It's very simple. If you want or need to move more than 2 spaces, during the allocation phase, you can allocate gold to the move strategy. And if you place 1, 2, 3, or 4 gold in the move strategy, your guild receives an equivalent move bonus. So placing 2 gold in the move strategy would allow each of your thieves now to have a +2 bonus to that basic 2 district movement range. Your thieves could all now move up to 4 districts across the city. An important sub-phase of the movement phase is the withdraw sub-phase, which will be optional to you if another player with better initiative moves thieves into a district where your thieves have stopped. You may not want to be there anymore, and you can withdraw to a district not controlled by any opponent, nor containing any opponent's thieves. Phase 8 is the actions phase, in which each player takes 2 all-important actions. Those actions being either a control action to control a district or a heist action to conduct a heist. Phase 9 is skill training, in which your thieves that did not participate in control or heist attempts can pay from your funds to train up your guild in a skill in which training is available in that district. Training up in skills builds up your guild's bonuses, which allows you to eventually achieve the most difficult tasks in the game. Phases 10 through 14 are known as the cleanup phases. Phase 10 is new guard and patrols, in which a new guard appears in the Tower of Guard, and the guards patrol by moving around the city's districts. The presence of each guard reduces a district's control revenue by 1 and makes a district more difficult by 1 per guard present to heist or control. Phase 11 is increase reputation. You are trying to build the most respected and admired new thieves guild and win the game. Gold allocated into the reputation strategy during allocation is now converted into victory points. You can also gain victory points for control of the churches or the famous districts, the King's Castle and Thieves Guild, in this phase. Phase 12 is control revenue and salaries, in which players will collect revenue for the districts that they control and pay a salary of 1 gold to each thief in their guild. The leader, who represents you, is not paid. Phase 13 is claim completed objectives. Some objective cards contain the phrase instant objective, which means the rewards are instantly collected upon achievement of the objective. And objective cards that do not contain that phrase may be claimed now in phase 13 if the conditions are met. Objective cards that are completed are put in the box out of the game, rather than being discarded and recycled. And that completes the overview. Finally, we will go deeper into each phase with some examples.